Hi everyone, welcome back to Brick for Brick. My name is Takia, and this is part 2 of the Flintstones Lego Ideas set. And this part is going to show the Flintstones house and the mailbox and a little bit of accessories that go along with the Flintstones Lego Ideas set. This is Lego Ideas set number 21316, and in total with the car it has 748 pieces. And the first part that is being built here is the lawn with some of the stones that are on the outside, as well as the foundation for the base of the house. You can see there are different shades of gray for the stones, which add some great detail and texture, so it really brings to life some of the outside of the home for this particular set. So I don't know about you, but one of the first things that I really like to do when I start to build a new Lego set is to sort the pieces. Now, you probably have noticed from our videos, my husband and my children don't tend to do that when they start their Lego sets. They tend to put them in some kind of container or a bin so that they have easy access and they don't lose any of their pieces. But I really like to sort them out so they're a little bit quicker and easier to access. I tend to sort them by colors, and it just makes it easier to find the parts that you're looking for. So I'm curious what some of you do, so feel free to leave a comment below if you have a different system that you use when you're building Legos or some other type of material that you might work with as well. I'd love to hear from you. Now the next piece here is really fun. The base of the house opens and closes, so there are connecting pieces here that allow some mobility with the home. So you can open and close the foundation, and as you'll see as this set is being built, it moves in and out, and sometimes it can be a little tricky as you're working with it because it will kind of swivel on you, but it does make for a playful, fun space when you're playing with the set later, or if you want to really get in and look at some of the close-up detail, some of the furniture, and some of the materials that are part of the set as well. So those are really fun to look at for the family's home. As you can see here, the floor of the house is complete now. So both sides of the swivel portion of the floor are complete, and now the actual walls of the house are beginning to build up from the ground up. So they're getting a little bit higher. There's some detail being added to make them look more like stones. There is some great work that happens with this set that adds a little bit of depth and curvature throughout some of the pieces. There's some angled bricks that are added that make the sides of the walls actually look a little bit like the stone pieces that you would expect to see put together in the Flintstones home, which is very, very fun to look at and to work with. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of video magic here and speed us along forward so you can see some of the house and how it looks in its next stage, which is with the walls put together, and then you'll see what comes next. Here we go. So the house is really coming together now. You can see the whole front entryway is looking great. The walls are up. They're looking wonderful on the sides. This is moving into bag 4 now and continuing to expand on all the detail in the home. This is going to begin to add to the outside of the walls. So there are some what look like almost stone columns that come on the outside on both sides of the walls, and they come at different levels. You can see the start of the chimney that's going to go on the outside of the house, and it is beginning to be built with these very brightly colored bricks of various sizes, which you wouldn't expect to see necessarily in the Flintstones home. But as you continue to build, there are going to be some darker gray, longer bricks that are going to be used, and some of the same types of stones that were used for the grass around the home are going to be used to give some detail, and those will be placed around the outside of the chimney, which will give it more of that Stone Age feel once it's added to the house. So on the outside of the chimney, there are larger round discs, circular discs that are going to be used, and then smaller ones as well. And there are almost a semicircle shape that are going to be used. And the smaller pieces can be challenging. I think in the car video I mentioned that sometimes they're harder, some of the smaller pieces are harder to line up quite the way that you want them to line up. So you might have to do a little bit of pressing. You'll notice that you'll need 3 of those pieces put together exactly the same to go on all the sides of the chimney. And once those are on, the final side that is left open is going to be the side that connects to the outside of the house. So when you work with those, you'll just want to kind of use your fingernail or the edge of your finger to straighten them just so that they do line up the way that you want them to. So coming up next, we are going to be finishing up the top of the chimney and adding the rest of the detail on the outside of the house to add some smoothness to any of the open edges on the walls, as well as putting in the final details on the inside of the home, including things like the curtains, the furniture, the doorway, the door itself, which is a lovely piece, and adding all of the final touches to the outside. So I am going to move us along so that you can see what some of those pieces look like as a finished product. Here we go. So I wanted to stop for a minute and just show you this awesome piece that I really love, which is this great little palm tree that's added to the side of the Flintstones home, which just looks fantastic. It curves out and comes back toward the home. It has 3 great big leaves that are just hanging over the side of the house right next to the chimney. I'm not exactly sure where bedrock is supposed to be as far as where the Flintstones are located, but obviously it's somewhere nice and warm. They're always, barefoot, and they never seem to be too concerned with the weather. They do dress a little warm. They get a little bit of snow in a few of the episodes, so I'm not sure where exactly it is that they live, but this tree is a wonderful addition to this Lego set, and it looks great on the side with the chimney. It really adds a pop of color to all of the gray neutral tones that are part of the family's home. So it looks wonderful on the side here. So let's get back to some more detail. Here's the outside of the house, and moving on to the rubbles. Betty and Barney Rubble are finished. Betty, Barney. Here are the curtains. And the little blue door, which snaps into place. Opens, closes, looks great. Now here's where all the fun comes in. We're on the inside of the house. There's a little television. You can see the curtains there. And starting to move on to all of the intricate little pieces that really make this look like a family's home, where people live and where in particular this family lives. And as you can see, there are going to be really specific pieces added that really make you think Flintstones. So there's little croissant there being added on the table. There is a picture going up on the mantle, and there's actually a little fire pit. It's a little difficult to see from this angle, but there's a little fire pit there. So the bricks that are being used are a clear reddish orange color that make it look like fire. And this is laying ground for where a couch will go for the family to sit so they can watch their television, kick their feet up, and get comfortable. What I wish that this Lego idea set really included would be a little more space to add to the home. It's obviously very tight, but you know, you can only have so many pieces. I also wish that because they include Barney and Betty Rubble, the neighbors, I wish that there would be some kind of either additional set or some kind of extension of this piece that would allow for the neighbor's home to be part of the set or an extension of the set, so that you could buy, you know, the next piece, the accompanying piece for the neighborhood home. I think Barney and Betty Rubble are such a integral part of the Flintstones, and arguably, you know, some people's favorite characters. So it would be great if they were included a little bit more in this sort of Lego Ideas building. I also noticed that with this set, it really doesn't include the children at all, or, you know, it'd be really fun to have a Dino. I think Dino would be an awesome addition that is not included in the set at this time, and I think would be very fun. Some of the details that are added, though, you know, this is great having Fred's bowling set put right there, a little bowling ball added. There's a coffee table, you know, looks great. Again, those floor pieces that allow for the mobility to open and close really give you the option to make it look like a larger living room space. You can kind of open it up and make it look like you have sort of a dining room on one side. You could add some other pieces in there. You could add your own base plates and really expand on this yourself. You could get some great ideas to just build up this set and really build your own Flintstones neighborhood if you wanted to, which would be really fun to do. I could definitely see my kids having a great time working on that. It would be a fun family project to do. I love the lamp, love the fruit in the bowl. Now, moving on to the outside, you know, we don't have a roof on this house yet, and I found this roof was a little bit difficult to work with. It was very easy to build, but actually fitting it onto the top and making it stable was a little bit challenging. It kind of comes down at an angle, and it doesn't sit perfect on there, so it gave me a little bit of trouble. So I'm curious if anybody else has built this set, if it gave you a little trouble as well, or if you had more success than I did. I eventually got it, but it took me a couple of tries to really get it to sit there the way that I wanted. There's some great flowers adding to the outside. Again, all the small details in this set really make it wonderful. The Flintstones mailbox with a piece of mail, and it's really starting to look like their home, look like their neighborhood. So thanks for watching this video. I hope some of you consider building this set. It's a really fun one. I'd love to hear from you, so leave me a comment and be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks, everyone.